The objective for this video is to demonstrate how to draw Object 5 from Plate 5.32 using SketchUp as a modeler. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is indicate how long this object is. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 units long. It's 7 halves. So I take the number 7, divide it by 2, it gives me 3.5. And then it's 1.5 inches deep. So getting back to SketchUp, I'm going to delete this person. I'm going to take a rectangle tool. It's 3.5, 1.5. So checking the total height of the object. Total height is 1 inch there plus 3/4. So that's 1 3/4 inches. Now, looking back at the object there, I can see this Z shape here. And so the first thing I'm going to do is subtract this part out, and then I'm going to subtract this part. And this use push-pull to subtract them. So first thing I need to do is take a look here. It's 1 inch over and then 1/2 inch from the top. So I'm going to get a guideline tool. It's going to go over 1 inch, and then it's going to go down 1/2 inch. Now I'm going to push-pull this back, subtract that away. I'm going to clean up my guidelines. Now I'm going to work on this side of the object. Now, taking a look back on the drawing there, I can see this edge right here is 3/4 inch from this edge, and this base pad here is 3/4 inch thick. So I'm going to go ahead and take the guideline tool, move this over 3/4, and I'm going to move this one up from bottom to top, 0.75. And then I'm going to take a rectangle tool and subtract this part away like so. Alright, clean up my guidelines. Alright, now looking back on the drawing there, there's this little block here toward the back of the object. And I can see it's 3/4 inch wide, and it's 3/4 inch left to right. So back to the modeler, I'm going to take my line tool, and I'm just going to draw a line here right at the midpoint, and then push-pull this over 3/4 inch. Okay, now the hole. Taking a look at this object here, I can see the hole's edge is 1/4 inch over. That would make the hole center 1/2 inch over, and then it's centered from front to back. So, guideline tool, 1/2 inch over from left to right. And then I'm going to take another guideline here, and I'm going to put it right at the center point there. Alright, now I'm going to take the circle tool, and I'm going to draw a 1/2 inch diameter circle with a 1/4 inch radius, and I'm going to push-pull that to subtract it. Clean up my guidelines. Now I'm going to work on the channel on the underneath side of this. So looking back on the drawing, I see it's a 1/2 inch wide channel that's 1/4 inch deep. So I'm going to start out with a center line, because this feature is centered. So there's my midpoint snap. I'm going to drag this over 0.25, and then I'm going to drag this over 0.25, and then I'm going to place a rectangle right in those reference points that I've created. Now I'm going to go ahead and push-pull this upward 0.25. Alright, I'm going to clean up the guidelines now. I'm going to turn on back edges, and then I'm also going to show hidden geometry. Now this needs to be saved back to its own folder, and make sure and export out a JPEG so you can upload this to Canvas. Okay, good luck with your model.